Hi there, Mariette Martinez here, and I wanted to do a video on filing an extension. So we've already covered how to create a FreeTaxUSA account and also to use the IRS Trusted Partners website to be able to qualify for not only a free federal return, but also a free state return. But your extension to file, which is a federal form, will always be free. So let's go ahead and do an example of preparing a federal extension. Remember, if you did qualify for a free federal and state filing, make sure that you are using the website that's associated to this link here. To make sure you're on that website, what you're going to want to do, double check that you are using the website freetaxusa.com/free file 2024 or the tax year. And that's where you want to go ahead and sign in. So let's sign in and go through the practice of creating a free federal extension. Let's do that now. What's most important in regards to completing your extension is to complete the personal information. So in a separate video, I went deep into preparing a full tax return for a student that's also a dependent of their parents. This is going to be a simple example of a single person that is going to go ahead and file a extension for themselves. So this is a brand new account. You can tell because all of the items on the top menu are grayed out and they're beginning their 2024 tax return from the very beginning. Instead of choosing begin a 2024 tax return, they're going to begin their 2024 extension. Again, do you want to file an extension? Yes, I do. Save and continue. Now, it's really important that you take time to read information when it comes to an extension because your extension is an extension to file, not an extension to pay. So if you owe taxes, you'll want to pay them when you file your extension. So that way, when you file your tax return later in the year, you're basically just filing the forms, but you've already paid the taxes. But it is very important to file an extension because you can get a penalty for not filing on time. And of course, you can get a penalty for not paying on time. So you want to file an extension so that way you don't have to pay any filing penalties. And you can also click on the question mark to learn more. Let's go ahead and click on Start Extension. So when you get in this first question, it's asking you why are you filing an extension? Essentially, you're filing an extension because you need more time to file. Again, it's not an extension to pay your taxes. It's an extension to have more time to file your taxes. So if you owe taxes, you'll want to pay them with your extension. Click on Save and Continue. Of course, you're going to complete this information so that way it can be populated on the extension. I'll go ahead and do that and then move on to the next step. Now, the next question is my filing status. So again, in our longer series, we covered the different questions that come up when you're completing your personal information. And so at this point, you'll want to know what your filing status is. In this case, this is a single taxpayer. But if I wanted to learn more in regards to that question, I can click on these hyperlinks. Save and continue. Do you think you'll get a refund? I don't expect to owe money, so I can say I expect a refund. I'm going to go ahead and save and continue. What do you think your refund will be? So I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I'm going to hope that I'm going to break even on my tax return. So I'm just going to say 0 at this point and save and continue. If I wanted to go deeper into this calculation, I could click on Use FreeTaxUSA to calculate it. But at this point, I just want to file my extension. So I'm going to save and continue. How much have you already paid in 2024? So this is going to have me put in all of my payments I made to 2024. I can go ahead and put in all my tax payments I made off of my W-2 and all of my federal tax withholdings. But you also can just add a 0 on the extension as well. So I'm going to add a 0 for this example. So right now, everything shows as 0. And what this is going to do, it's going to create a 0 extension form, but that is a valid form to send to the IRS. So we're going to go ahead and click on Continue. Do you need to file a state extension? If I say add a state extension, what it's going to do is going to have me go through that particular state, and it's going to let me know whether or not I need to file an extension for that state. I'm going to say I expect a refund for that state, save and continue, and then it's going to tell me that California automatically allows an extension of time to file, so I don't have to worry about it. I'm all set. Continue. So at this point, I'm going to continue on, do you need to file an extension for another state? I do not, so I'm going to click on continue. Now, this would be if I want to go ahead and make a payment. Again, this is just an example of how to complete the extension. You'll want to go ahead and calculate how much you owe, and you'll also want to calculate how much you want to put in regards to the numbers on the extension. Here, I'm just taking you through the extension process, so I'm going to click on Save and Continue. It's going to give you some alerts in regards to go ahead and take a look at these areas before you confirm. But we're going to click on continue because we want to get to the point where we can actually look at our federal extension. So if you can see here, you can clearly get all the way to the extension and even view the extension form. So this is where we wanted to get to, which proves you can prepare and file a complete extension, Form 4868, using this software completely for free. So of course, make sure all your numbers are correct before you go ahead and download, and then eventually you can go ahead and e-file your extension, which is always going to be the recommended option, or you can mail your federal extension. Of course, e-filing will always be the preferred method, so let's double check your extension information. Make sure we see all green boxes, which means everything is ready to go, and then click on continue to go ahead and start the e-filing process. So we've already viewed our extension. We want to save and continue. We want to click on e-file your federal extension, which again is the recommended option. Save and continue. And this is the signature page. So you need to have an electronic signature on your tax forms, including an extension and also on your tax return. So this is your process to electronically sign your extension. So you'll click on continue. And then you are ready to submit your extension. You can click on I'm ready to submit my extension, and you can even have a number added in to have a text message to confirm the acceptance of your extension. We're going to click on I'm ready. We're going to accept the text message to advise us of our extension being accepted or rejected. And then we're going to send the extension. And that's it, my friends. Congratulations. You've sent your first extension through FreeTaxUSA, and you have additional information here in regards to tax extension status. And if you have any state-related extension information, it will also be found here. And then again, you have an option to view and download and then move on to your tax return. And that's how you complete a free extension on FreeTaxUSA.